How have you approached this unorthodox off season, and particularly how have you kind of chosen to prepare over the last few months? I guess it must have been early October that you knew that this would be about the time you get started.
Yeah, I guess we have approached it almost one day at a time. Our team was here this summer and we were fully expecting to play in the fall. And then that was canceled. And so I think from there it's been, planning for the spring, exactly like you said. But it's been a lot of stops and starts and unknowns. So really just trying to um, prepare one day at a time and deal with whatever comes our way.
So how prepared do you feel compared to a normal year?
On a scale of 1 to 10, probably a 2, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, we have had, because of the Christmas holiday and Thanksgiving and finals week and dead week before that, and then back to campus and quarantine COVID procedures, we have had very, very limited number of practices with the entire team. So I would say this year we are not anywhere near where we normally are to start a Pac-12 season.
Is it your sense that everyone's in the same boat in the Pac-12?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit all over the place. I mean, I know everybody had the Christmas holiday off. Some were just able to start a little bit earlier than us. And some schools are about in the same position as us or haven't started yet. So kind of depends what county you're in and what state you live in.
Mm-hmm. Are you testing on a daily basis?
Great question. We were testing on a daily basis, more like basketball and what they're doing. And then the Pac-12 came back last week and reduced our number of tests per week, but are mandating that we wear masks while we're on the court, which proves to be pretty difficult.
I would imagine, and not a whole lot of time to practice that.
No. Yeah, it's
Um,
we've definitely gone through um, piles of different kinds of masks, and everybody likes something a little bit different. We have to, of course, be able to breathe. Playing a high level sport, and then visibility, peripheral vision is definitely affected as well. And then just trying to keep the mask up is also a challenge.
so I'm assuming maybe more of a rotation, getting people in and out more.
Yeah, I mean, typically we have 4 weeks of preseason that we can, try and get a lineup and gel a little bit more. But this year, those, first weeks of Pac-12 are going to have to, prove as that. And you're exactly right. I think you're going to see, more substitutions, people in different positions, trying to get people rest, maybe more in the back row than we typically would do in a normal year.
Jenna, in a normal year, I would imagine you'd come into this season pretty optimistic.
Yes. Do I not sound optimistic, Dale? Yeah, for sure. I mean, we have a lot of returners back, besides Durigi and Jocelyn Urias in the middle. Um, but we have a key group back, and so you're right. Yes, the optimism would probably be a little higher if we would have just had some more time to gel and practice before we start.
Is everyone ready to go? Is everyone cleared to play? And
As of the moment, everyone is cleared to play. Um, and yeah, like I said, we're just going to kind of see how it goes. I think from a coaching standpoint, and just safety as far as, in trying to have injury prevention, things like that, that more people are going to see playing time, exactly like you had mentioned earlier.
Do you know who you're going to start in the opener?
We have a couple of positions that we know. I think the main strength that we have is Hannah Pukas is back as our starting setter. So to have that position and the experience that she gained last year as a starter is really important. So we know that for sure. Also, Pia Timmer returning as a starter, and Magda returning ABCA Freshman of the Year. Other than that, we've been trying to rotate some people through. We have Alexis Lusby still on the right side that started last year. She's been doing a nice job. And then we have an addition of Juliana Dalton, the Colorado State Player of the Year, on the left side, but again, has very limited number of practices. So she'll definitely get some time. I'm just not quite sure starting rotations yet. And it'll probably change set to set, I would imagine, this first weekend.
Okay. You mentioned 5 players. Is there another group of 3 or 4 that are most likely to get a lot of time?
Yeah, Penny Tusa is back. She's definitely our most versatile player. She played a little bit on the outside for us. She's played some defensive specialists, so she will play, just not sure quite where yet. Kalia Williams had some good playing time in a couple different positions last year, so I think she will be another contributor. And then Aria McCumber and Julia Norval, defensive specialists, have been kind of fighting for that libero position, but both of them saw some playing time last year as well in the back row.
Am I right in thinking that I mean, if this season you're going to go for, I believe, 5th consecutive NCAA appearance? That would match, I think, a streak that happened when you were playing for Wazoo. I'm assuming that the kind of the system you learned from Cindy has evolved quite a bit since then. And if that was kind of your template as you went into coaching, is that true? And can you kind of explain what that evolution has looked like?
Yeah, I mean, I think when we took over in 2011, that was our main goal, of course, to get the program back to the NCAA tournament. Starting with building the culture and team chemistry, and then just training, skill work as well. We did take a lot from Cindy and Farouk as far as skill work and things like that. So, but yeah, things evolve and change over time. And we, also had our own things that worked, especially at Lewis Clark State, that we brought and have adapted here to Washington State as well. But yeah, that has always been the goal, is to get back to the NCAA tournament as many times as possible, and then advance in the tournament further. This year is a little different. I think it's only 48 teams instead of 64. And then we're not quite sure what that looks like yet, as far as, first, second rounds, regionals. We only know that the Final Four is in Omaha. So a little bit different, just because of the number of teams and the number of at-large bids is much less, which I think affects the bigger conferences like Pac-12 and the Big Ten.
Just a couple of roster questions. I assume that Michaela Myers and Reagan Cooper wanted to be closer to home.
Yeah, they're both back in Texas. So they transferred last December or January. One at TCU, one at Texas Tech.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they actually already played a season. They played in the fall.
Yes. You've been very objective in explaining the situation. Do you have an opinion about how good an idea this is to move forward with the season at this time?
Oh, Dale, that's a whole nother story. I mean, I think we're really happy to be back and training. I think that was probably the biggest thing, that just these players are so used to schedules and structure that the unknown for them was really difficult, I think, to try and navigate in the summer and the fall. So just getting them back in the gym, even as limited as it was in the fall, was just, I think a breath of fresh air for them, and they crave that structure and training, just because they've been doing it for so long as high level athletes.
Mm-hmm. Anything else I should know, Jen?
Oh no, I mean, yeah, I just think it'll probably be a little ugly to begin with, but that's okay. And we've told our team that, like, you can't expect perfection, training for a week, and it'll come and it'll get better, but just to not be frustrated, with the maybe outcome or the level of their play right at the beginning here.
And the defense will likely be more advanced than the offense.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So the serving will be better than the passing, and the defense will be better than offense for sure.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for the time, Jen.
Thanks, Dale. Great to hear from you.